5 Mysterious Unsolved Cases, Part 5. On April 1, 2014, Dutch students Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon mysteriously disappeared while hiking in the popular mountains of Boquete, Panama. The two girls reportedly were walking alone, but were accompanied by a dog named Blue, who was owned by the family with which the girls were staying. Allegedly, this host family became alarmed later that evening when Blue returned home without the girls. Despite this, it took around 3 days for authorities to begin an official search. The girls took with them only a small amount of supplies, including a camera. Photographs recovered on this camera show the girls hiking, smiling, and seemingly heading off trail on a route that is designed not for tourists or hikers, but for indigenous people. This trail is, however, fairly clear and easy to follow. Photographs found on the camera also include a large number of mysterious, disturbing, and unclear images, which were taken 7 days after the girls disappeared. These pictures include an image of what appears to be Kramer's bloodied head. The camera was given to authorities along with the girls' shared backpack and its contents. It was handed to them by a local tribeswoman 9 weeks after the girls disappeared. The backpack also contained 2 bras, 2 pairs of sunglasses, 2 cell phones, and $83 in cash. Logs from the cell phones show that they were used to call emergency services on April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The cell phones were also used to check signal on the following 3 days before being disused until April 11th. On the 11th, signal was checked again on the phone belonging to Kremers. Though no PIN was entered, then the phone was switched off. In August, after extensive searches, authorities eventually found bone fragments of the girls near where their backpack was found. They found 33 fragments. 2 of these belonged to Kremers. 28 belonged to Froon, and 3 could not be identified. Froon's left foot was discovered still in its shoe. Officially, authorities say that the girls died by falling. They speculate that Kremers died first, which accounts for photographs of her bloodied head, and that Froon, after trying to leave her friend's body in a discoverable location, then later fell in a different place. The case, however, has many suspicious and alarming details. Firstly, only a relatively small amount of the girls' bones and clothes have ever been found. The bone fragments show no evidence of a fall or contact with animals, and their remains are far too decomposed to account for natural decomposition in such relatively cool weather. Some of the bones are also believed to have been bleached. Perhaps most strangely, there was a photograph deleted from the girls' camera. This photograph is non-recoverable, which implies that it may have been deleted using a computer. The contents of this photograph remain unknown. A number of photos have also not been released to the public. Although the authorities maintain that the girls died in a simple hiking accident, other investigators aren't so sure. In the last 8 years, around 25 unsolved killings and disappearances have occurred in the same region. Most of them happened after the girls went missing. JonBenet Ramsey was a 6-year-old beauty pageant queen who was found dead in the basement of her parents' home in 1996. She died in the early hours of December 26th. A garrote, which had been used to strangle her, was tied around her neck. She had most likely been sexually assaulted, and she had suffered a fractured skull from a heavy blow to the head. Duct tape covered her mouth. Nylon cord was found around her wrists, and her body was covered in a white blanket. Her body was discovered only a few hours after Ramsey's mother, who was herself a former beauty queen, called authorities to report that she had found a 3-page ransom note in the family home. This ransom note demanded $118,000 from the family for their daughter's safe return. It contains many spelling errors, many strange phrases, and lots of unusual demands. The note was written on paper belonging to the family and was signed with the initials SBTC. When Ramsey's father found her body, he immediately moved it upstairs, irrevocably altering the crime scene. Strangely, Ramsey's mother claims that the clothes worn by the body of her daughter were not the same clothes which she was wearing for bed the previous night. The parents were initially considered as the main suspects in the case, along with Ramsey's 9-year-old brother, Burke, as there was no real evidence of a break-in at the family home. All three have since been officially exonerated. Investigators now believe that an intruder did indeed commit the crime. There had been many burglaries and sexual assaults in the nearby region at the time. In 2000, a local man named Gary Oliva was arrested on drug charges and was found carrying a photograph of JonBenet in his backpack. He explained that the reason he had the photo was because he was deeply touched by the case. A friend of Oliva's claimed that he had received a phone call a day after the murder, where Oliva said, quote, "I hurt a little girl. I hurt a little girl." However, Oliva's DNA did not match the DNA found at the crime scene. John Mark Carr, a former elementary school teacher, was arrested in Bangkok and confessed to the crime, but his DNA also did not match anything found at the crime scene. His confession is considered to be false. During the autopsy, pineapple was found in the stomach of Ramsey's body, but her parents cannot remember feeding pineapple to their daughter. The significance of this strange anomaly remains unknown. After all these years, the bizarre case still remains unsolved. Some still adamantly believe that the break-in claim is a lie, and there was instead a cover-up by the Ramsey parents and brother. Another wacky theory states that JonBenet Ramsey never died, and she is still in fact living as a world-famous pop singer under the name of Katy Perry, but we're not so sure. "45-year-old fitness instructor Terri Missy Bevers was found murdered in a Texas church on April 18, 2016. She was at the church to prepare and lead one of her regular exercise classes. Her body, which was discovered by one of her students just before 5 a.m., had a number of brutal puncture wounds to the head and chest. Several of the church doors and windows had been damaged and broken. CCTV footage shows an unidentified person walking through the church just moments before the murder. Strangely and somewhat disturbingly, this person was wearing SWAT gear. In the footage, they can be seen casually vandalizing the church with a hammer. The person's walk has led some to believe that the mysterious figure is a female, though this, of course, cannot be confirmed. Investigators have established that the injuries on Bevers' body were most likely inflicted with a hammer. In the period leading up to the murder, Missy had been suffering from financial problems and marital issues, though her husband denies any role in the murder. She had also allegedly received a creepy and strange message on social networking site LinkedIn from an unknown male. During the investigation, Bevers' father-in-law was questioned by police after taking a woman's bloodied shirt to a dry cleaner. He claims that these stains were the result of a fight between his dog and another, which was confirmed by a local veterinarian. In this video, footage of Bevers' father-in-law and the person in the CCTV footage have been placed side by side. Many people believe that the two walks look very similar, with some stating they look identical. What do you think? Investigators have not yet identified the figure shown in the CCTV images. They are working based on the official assumption that Bevers walked in on a robbery in progress, which unfortunately led to her death. However, this is just a theory, and the case remains unsolved. At 1 p.m. on February 13, 2017, 13-year-old Abigail Williams and 14-year-old Liberty German were dropped off by a family member at an old bridge in Delphi, Indiana, to go on a short hike. They were given instructions to return to the bridge at 5:30 p.m. When they did not return, they were reported missing. The following day, their dead bodies were discovered on the trail. They were located only around 1 kilometer from where they had originally been dropped off. Just after 2 p.m. on the day of their disappearance, German eerily uploaded 2 pictures to Snapchat. One of these simply showed Williams hiking happily along the bridge. The other picture ominously showed a man following the 2 girls on their hike. It is believed that this man is the killer of the girls and that German took this picture in order to help police discover him in case of their deaths. A disturbing audio file was also found on German's cell phone, in which the alleged killer can be heard calmly and quietly saying the 3 words, "Down the hill."
Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill. Down the hill.
The exact significance of this phrase is unknown. Authorities have confirmed that this footage is longer in its entirety, but contains disturbing content which is not suitable for public release. Up to now, police have received around 20,000 tips from the public, but have been unable to find the killer. They have also released an e-fit of his face. Autopsies have been undertaken, but police have not yet revealed how the girls were killed, what wounds they had, and whether any weapons were used. Speculation surrounding the case is of course rife, with some guessing that the case may be linked to the murders of Lyric Cook and Elizabeth Collins, 2 young girls who were murdered in 2012 while hiking in Evansdale, Iowa. Some have also speculated that the man who owns the land on which the girls were hiking may be involved. This man is currently serving time in jail for drunk driving charges. The theories continue, as does the investigation. On September 7, 2015, Minnesota resident McCabe received a strange and disturbing voicemail message from her husband, Henry McCabe. It was sent around 2:30 a.m. In the voicemail, growls, groans, and moans can be heard, along with a voice that appears to say, "Stop it." The message then abruptly ends. The 32-year-old man was reported missing the following day. According to some sources, he was last captured on CCTV cameras at a gas station where his friend, William Kennedy, had dropped him off. They, and perhaps some others, had been drinking together at a club in Spring Lake Park. Kennedy had allegedly taken McCabe's wallet in order to stop him from buying more alcohol. According to Kennedy, McCabe had asked to be dropped off at the gas station instead of at home. But what is particularly strange is that the gas station is in the opposite direction of where McCabe lives. His apparent motive for wanting to be dropped off there remains unknown. When Kennedy spoke to the police, he initially gave inaccurate information about where he had dropped off McCabe and inaccurate information about other key details, though as of now, his involvement in the case is not being considered as suspicious. McCabe had also called his brother that night and left a voicemail, but this audio has not been released to the public. McCabe's body was found 6 miles away from the gas station, around 8 weeks later, floating in a lake. The autopsy revealed that he had drowned, though investigators have left the case open, largely due to the disturbing sounds in the voicemail. Speaking to reporters, McCabe's wife, Karine, said, "I try to picture where he was, what it might have been like, what circumstances would have made him sound like that." There are many inconsistencies in the case, including how many people McCabe had been clubbing with, whether or not he had possession of the keys to his home, and why he was dropped off at the gas station. The exact involvement of Kennedy and McCabe's other friends remains largely unknown. Henry McCabe was a husband and father of 2, and seemingly had no reason to end his own life. Some people believe that the bizarre voicemail sounds like he may have been attacked by some kind of animal, while others believe that it sounds like he was hit with a taser or a stun gun. However, no one can be sure of the truth. The case continues. Thanks for watching. Please leave a rating and subscribe to see more videos like this. Also, please remember to click the bell icon to make sure that you never miss an upload from us.